My name is Lill-Ann Chepstow-Lusty, and I am what I suppose you call a visual artist, photographer, or whatever one likes to call these things, but I use a camera. The whole thing today is I have an appointment with the world-famous curator, Ellen Christiansen. We are going to make a little film about me showing my books from the collection at the Preus Museum. Curators are very shy creatures, and you really never quite know where they're hiding. She said it was at the end of a long corridor, so let's just go in and explore. Oh my God, look at this, just breathe it in, the ambience. You can just feel the art and the talent that's in this building. Oh, I think let's try this one. Oh my God, she's even got my calendar. And she has my books. I don't know, without swearing, this is just like the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me. Hang on, there's a note. Dear Lill-Ann, I can't meet you in person, but would I make a little video and present my books and do it from her office next to hers? Okay, office. That was sad. Well, you know these curators, they're up their own arse if you know. This book we're going to begin with is actually a book they don't have in the collection of the Preus Museum Library, but I think after this film they will definitely want to order it. And it is actually my first publication. I haven't made the whole book, but when I was 20 years old, I managed to get into this exhibition, a group exhibition at the ICA in London, and it was about women making images of men. Now, this had never happened before. I took this photo when I was 18 years old. I was a student at Eastbourne College of Art and Design, and I had this idea because male students, they could get any girl they wanted to take their clothes off, and they called it art. Now I thought, well, I could be an artist. Buy it in Preus. I took a photograph of my father, and we've just got this washing machine, and this was in the exhibition of women's images as men as well, and then later on went into my calendar, which Ellen Christiansen has on the wall, called Pin Downs, because it all developed into a sort of a funny piss take on a pin-up camera. Anyway, this book has just come out in Britain, Feminist Photography and Countercultural Activity in 1970s Britain. This book, Art and Feminism in Norway from 1968 to 1989. And you turn it around and, oh, who's on the backside? Now this is a compilation of a lot of women who art history has really not acknowledged. I don't know if you can get to see this image. It is the day before I got a job as a home help. This one here would be quite modern today, and it's a boy and a girl commenting a feminist, and they're saying, is it a boy or a girl? It's a girl, stupid, it's wearing an earring. This is from an exhibition I did called Feel Mail. Again, sort of women not fitting into the traditional roles of being feminine. This one here, there's two lesbians watching telly, and one of them says, do you want to be frank with me tonight? And the other one says, no, I'm frank tonight, you were frank last night. And the punchline here is something like, I'm sick and tired of being treated as a sex symbol. I got discovered by Puck's Forlag, and they wanted me to make a book about large women. And I was put together with a really good poet called Karin Sven, and our mission was to make a sort of like a big is beautiful book. To actually get any women to pose in this book was a miracle. I ended up going on a local radio, and a man was listening to me on the radio. He rang in and said, my wife will do it, without asking her, mind you. Anyway, so she became one of the models that goes pretty much all the way through this book. It came out on Bokklubben, sold tons of copies. This is called Norge, Texas, Norway, completely Texas. And I was just totally amazed that in Norway there were so many people who dressed up as cowboys. I managed to hitchhike around country festivals and stuff all over Norway. And here, I mean, there's entertainers as well. Arne Norse, he's an absolute legend. But the fun thing was going to the festivals and taking pictures of people who wore cowboy hats. And what would be happening is you would have one little sort of village in Norway, and you would have like one person who felt a little different. He would dress up as a cowboy. And then what he wouldn't know was in the next little village there was somebody exactly like him. So I went around just photographing these people, and I had a great time. I have to say, I earn nothing on my projects, but I have a hell of a good time. And I had to offer my body to loads of alcohol for this project just to get to know these people. But this became actually quite a cult book. Again, it sold quite well, and it's in the collection of Preus. This one, Polaroid, med denne, siste. This is about a man who is he's a photographer. He uses it as a guise to get young ladies to get her to take off their clothes in the disguise of art. One of the lines in here sort of suggests that maybe myself and Polaroid were one and the same person. I don't know what they mean. Working for the History Museum, or Cultural History Museum, we actually are the ones that have the Viking ships. I decided to travel around the world to show how the world sees the Vikings. This is in New York, the Leif Erikson Society. It seems to be very important for the identity of Americans to show that Leif Erikson and not Christopher Columbus discovered America. This one's quite funny. This used to be in the centre of Oslo. You've got Viking kebab. Viking tattoos are often very popular. And if you ever go to a tattoo convention, it's the easiest thing in the world is to get people to strip off. This one I'm very proud of, and it's gay kids. Kule barn som også finnes, which means cool kids that also exist. It's a collection of childhood photographs of people who identify themselves as gay or lesbian. This is an actor, Simen Andersen. He is a female impersonator, but he is just, well, I don't know, I wouldn't know if I'd call him a regular bloke, but he's pretty much a regular bloke. But that's what I was looking for, and I found, I laughed, I screamed with laughter when I found this image. And this is my friend Elizabeth. Again, you got the girl with the cowboy hat, the pistol. It's just perfect. The advantage with using a long time to make a project is it's all the invisible children. It's a school book, and it actually gets used, and that makes me extremely proud to know that I've made something that may have made a difference. And I was very lucky to work with Bera Ulstein-Moseng, who wrote the text for this book. There is a book in the project that is about my dog, Paglia. What I did was I made this project called Puppies for Peace, Embracing Paglia. So I wanted lots of different people to just hold Paglia. I know that Preus is one of the lucky collectors of that book. Probably happy now to be getting around to the last book in the collection, and it's called Dead Woman Walking, and it's a book I made about my mother when she had diagnosed cancer, and one pretty much got the gist that it was terminal. It bonded us by giving us a purpose, and the camera is a very good way of holding a distance to feelings. And it's the when you load down all the photographs, when you've been through a process like this, you realize the emotional yo-yo that you've been through of loss and sometimes denial that you can't believe somebody is dying. I love these because she was so happy. She was given money to buy a wig, and this was the stylist sort of gave her this. This is her normal hair. And this was the stylist again. This is the wig that we chose. You know, one moment you're in the hospital and it looks like it's the end, and then 3 weeks later you're out having a glass of beer. These are pictures that I did not want to see. And my mother had, up in the middle of this, had to have a colostomy bag. And I was sleeping, I was looking at one point, I'd moved in, and she knocked on the door and she said, "It's today, Lill-Ann, you cannot be making a book about me and not take a picture of me with my bag." And I said, no, I don't want to see this. This is horrible. But again, it's strange how the camera can create such a distance, and I actually find this one is one of my favourite images ever. I have it in a very big enlargement from an exhibition. So if anyone wants to hang it over their sofa, it's not going over my sofa, just so you know that. But again, 1 minute, you know, colostomy bag, and the next minute out drinking beer. It's funny when you do things like this, you get it brings out in the sort of worst sort of black sense of humour, and I think we as human beings, we're given that to survive these things. You get to a point where you laugh and you cry in the same sentence. And it's been exhibited up in with the exhibition at Sine Salon in Oslo and Nordic Light Festival. The book is made in 4 examples. Preus Museum has got one of the 4. But I feel very happy that that's in the in its collection. Anyway, there's a part in here that's it should come with a warning. No, I won't be showing you dead bodies, but there's dead bodies in here. So I think I'll save it. But my mother would not want to have been remembered for who she was as being a sick person, because this is a woman who was so full of life. I didn't want that sick part to be how do you say, a period of life where you just cut it out. I wanted to remember it, because actually it brought us quite close together as well, and it was a nice ending. So yes, and on that note, I think that shouldn't bore that, Ellen. You know, discover me, please, do something with my books. In any case, they are at Preus Museum's library in Horton.